Okay, we're going to go through some of the steps from yesterday. First thing we need is something round to trace that's about 2.5 to 3 inches across the top. I'm using a candle because it's what I had here, but any kind of coffee cup or glass you drink out of will be just fine. And I want you to trace it once near the top of your paper. You can be firm with your tracing because we're going to use this just as a template. This is not what we're going to do our actual shading on. So this will not be the final product, okay? And that's step one. In order to get the correct length of the whole object, what we're going to do is we're going to double up that circle. So I'm actually going to take my circular object again, and I'm going to put it right under the first one so that they actually touch. And this time when I trace it, I'm going to do a dotted line. You can also just do a really light line if you want, but a dotted line works fine. This circle doesn't figure into our final drawing. We're not going to be using it for anything. All it is there is to help us measure the length. So there's that. So now I've got one circle on top of the other. That's step two. Looks like I overlapped a little bit here. Not a huge deal. But if you get them as close to touching as you can. And finally, I'm going to use about the width of one finger space. And I'm going to put a little dot down here at the bottom underneath it. So that's the whole length of my whole object from top to bottom. All right. Now, in order to get the whole thing drawn, we have to draw a curve at the bottom here. And that curve has to be less than half the width of the top circle. So there's half the width of the top circle, right? I'm going to take even a little bit less than that and measure down here at the bottom. And I'm going to draw myself a small curve. And that curve has to be less wide than half the top circle. And now to finish it off, all I need to do is connect two lines. One line is going to come from the very edge of my top circle down to that curve, and the other one's going to come from the other side all the way down to that curve. Try to make those lines as straight as you can. If you make a little mistake like I did, you can erase a little bit as you go. Use the edge of a book or something and you can get nice straight lines. This is the first step in this project. If we can get this shape, then what we'll have at the end is an object that looks like it's standing up on a tabletop. I'm going to switch the camera angle now so you can see that. If I bring my camera down and hold it in front of my glass, you can see from this angle now that it looks like a glass standing up on a tabletop. It doesn't look like a stretched out object anymore. And that's what we're going for in the end.